The Chicago Bears are at a crossroads in the 2024 NFL Draft. With the number 9 pick, they have a chance to round out their rebuilt roster, address a remaining need, and shape the future of the franchise. But with great opportunity comes great responsibility. Which choice best sets this franchise on a path for long-term success? Drafting a receiver, taking the top edge, or trading back for more picks? Stick around to find out. Welcome back, football fans. I'm Emmett Swarat, here with my co-host Brendyn Ford. Today, we are diving into the Chicago Bears draft strategy for the 2024 NFL Draft. The Bears have picks 1 and 9 this season because of their trade with Carolina for the number 1 pick last season. With their first pick, the Bears are almost a lock to take Caleb Williams at USC. What about pick 9? The Bears have done a good job filling out a lot of the holes on their roster before the draft. They could take the remaining receiver from the big 3, take the top edge rusher to pair with Sweat, or trade back and get more capital for a depleted war chest. So what should they do? We are going to lay out each option and at the end show which one best sets the Bears up for long-term success.
With the Bears bringing in Caleb Williams to run the show, it only makes sense for them to surround Caleb with as much talent as possible. They started this process last season when they traded for a top 10 receiver, DJ Moore, and then traded for Keenan Allen this offseason. But at what point are the Bears overusing resources on the wide receiver spots? Let's look at the pros and cons. The pros are you can never have too many weapons, especially when you're bringing in a rookie quarterback. The better the spot for Caleb, the more likely he will be to succeed. Also, Keenan Allen will be 32 when the season kicks off and only has 1 year remaining on his current contract. Bringing in a rookie will allow them to kind of learn from Allen for a season and then be a cheap replacement in 2025. Now, let's look at the cons. The Bears have already dedicated a lot of resources to the wide receiver spots and still have a lot of other gaps on the roster to fill. It would be a luxury at this point for the Bears to bring in another high-end receiver rather than a need. This is also a really deep wide receiver class that offers starting level receivers in almost every single round. The Bears could wait till later in the draft to take Allen's replacement. Taking a receiver at 9 will make Ryan Poles a spendthrift. That draft capital could be spent on a different spot, like maybe a edge rusher.
Defense wins championships, right? The Bears could opt to use their pick on a standout edge rusher, solidifying their front 7 and giving Montez Sweat a rushing mate to take some pressure off of him. However, is defense the most pressing need for the Bears? Their defense finished as one of the top units in the league last year. So while the Bears did finish in the top half of the league in total defense, they finished in the bottom 10 against the pass. They finished 31st in sacks and 29th in third down defense. Taking the top edge rusher in this draft could pole vault this defense into a top 5 unit in the league and give Caleb the best defense he's ever played with. Also, this is a shallow class when it comes to edge rushers. With the Bears' next pick being in the 4th round, they may not get another chance to shore up this position. While this is a shallow draft at edge, the Bears only have 4 picks in this draft class. Taking an edge here would fill a need, but it would also limit the Bears' ability to round out their roster with higher floor talent, forcing them to heavily rely on more undrafted free agents or stopgap players if they get hit with the injury bug. Drafting an edge rusher fills a much-needed hole on the Bears roster, but it also leaves them top-heavy. If a player at a key position goes down with an injury, the Bears would be forced to turn to guys who might not have NFL-level talent to fill the void.
The Bears have traded draft picks for talented vets at key spots throughout the entire roster. While this has vastly improved the roster, it's also left the Bears with only 4 picks in this draft and none on day 2. Yet, what if moving back cost the Bears a player that they really wanted? Would it still be worth those extra picks? Another edge rusher is the biggest need for the Bears right now, but is it their only need? The Bears need to leave this draft with improvements to their defensive tackle room and their interior offensive line depth. They could also use another wide receiver and tight end. Trading back will give them more picks to improve the overall depth of the roster and kind of prevent them from the good old injury bug. Not to mention, they'll keep the roster young and cheap longer. The biggest drawback of this move will be that you will lose out on a top edge rusher and can't improve on your biggest weakness in this draft. Trading back gives the Bears more ammo to fill out this roster with solid young pieces. If they move back with a team like the Bengals, who may be itching to draft a right tackle of their future, the Bears could end up netting a second and a fourth this year for that kind of move. But will that move be too far back to get Dallas Turner or Jared Verse?
The Chicago Bears have a pivotal decision to make with the number 9 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Do they take one of the top 3 receivers, the top edge rusher, or do they trade back? To us, the answer is clear. It is more important to have more bullets than to have a bigger target. The Bears should trade back. While this draft class isn't heavy with talented edge rushers, the Bears should be able to move back and still take a player like Laiatu Latu, who put on a dominant performance at the Senior Bowl. With the additional draft capital, you could round out the edges of this roster and build a more sustainable product instead of a flash in the pan. What do you think the Bears should do? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to check out more Bears video we have on the channel. Until next time, we're the RFL Show.